So I'm Mary with Steep Tea, and I've been with this company since June 30th. And I want to thank my host. This is my first time doing an actual party on Blab. I do a lot of parties on Facebook, and I was looking for a way to get a little bit more interactive with my guests and actually get to kind of talk to you really like I do my home party guests. So when you book a party with me on Blab, what I do is I do set up a Facebook event so that I get to tell people how to use Blab and get on there and mail them samples about a week before the party so that they have something to drink during the party, just like if we were live in person. And then we can all sip tea together and chat. So it should be fun. So I am going to start by having my tea because I can't do a party without tea. So this is, hopefully you'll be able to see it. This is our, can you see that? Okay. This is the glass teapot, which I don't like to take to parties because it's fragile, and I really love just tossing everything in a bag and going because I'm used to selling fragile items. Now the glass teapot does have a fine mesh infuser in it, which is perfect for the rooibos teas, and I'll get into that in a minute. And this is the, they're called the Cosmo cups, and you can't really see my table, but I'm gonna show you. I'm going to try not to spill this on my laptop while I do it too. Like I said, this is an experiment. So the Cosmo cup, I guess is a kind of a funny angle. You're not going to see it too well. It's a double-walled glass so that your hands don't get hot. And they will actually stack. And they come as a set of 4 so that you can have a little tea party with your friends. And they just, I don't even know how to describe it, but they just feel really good in your hands the way they're so round. So I love them. And this is the Amaretto Rooibos tea. So first thing about teas is black tea, green tea, and white tea all come from the same plant. And you get the different kinds of tea. My cat might be joining us. You get the different kinds of tea based on how it's processed. So black tea is processed differently from green tea, which is more steamed. And then white tea isn't really processed at all. White tea has a fairly negligible amount of caffeine. Black tea has the most. It takes about 3 cups of black tea to equal a cup of coffee in terms of caffeine. And then green tea is in the middle there. Green tea is well known for having tons of health benefits, cancer fighting, and energy boosting and metabolic boosting effects, and it's really good for you. So there is some caffeine in there, so drink it kind of in the morning. Then rooibos tea actually comes from a bush from, I think, South Africa. It's not from the tea plant, so tea purists don't consider it tea, but it's also known as red tea, and it's naturally caffeine free. Steep tea does not actually decaffeinate anything because it's a harsh chemical process. And we do pride ourselves on having healthy products that don't contain pesticides, herbicides, artificial flavors and colors. We're part of the Ethical Tea Partnership, and our teas are made with all natural ingredients, which are just really good for you. So, so rooibos tea is a perfect evening tea. And then we have a bunch of herbal teas. Those are just made with dried herbs, and fruit teas, which are made with dried fruits. And there's one more I'm thinking of, and it's going to escape me for now. But if I remember, I'll get back to it. And then we have oolong teas and pu'er teas. Pu'er is an aged black tea, and oolong is a fermented black tea. And then we have matcha, which is super special. And I'm just going to show you a couple of our products and ask you, please feel free to type in anytime you want. Right on that little sidebar, you can join me in, just ask me questions about tea. Tell me what your favorite kind of tea is, what you love most about steep tea, and feel free to join in. So we also have, this is our sweet tea pitcher, and this is something you don't get out of the catalog. This is the top. So the top has this filter, which fits below the spout, so that when you, and all I did was throw a This is the perfect pot spoon. I dumped a perfect pot spoon of the citrus sangria in here with a bottle of wine. It's actually a really kind of cute small pitcher. It looks, I don't know, it's about as big as my head, I guess. This is a full bottle of wine in there. So when you go to pour this, you're not going to get the bits of tea in your glass. It's just going to be kind of yummy. And I'm doing research for my tipsy tea party. I take my job very seriously, so I'm going to have to drink some wine to get ready for that. You can steep tea in something other than hot water, and that's called an infusion, and that's going to be one of my favorites. And then when you make tea, so the link that I had posted earlier, it's a Facebook link, that's going to take you to a chart that I recommend you save on your phone. So that chart tells you the perfect temperature of water to use. So black teas and rooibos teas would use a full boil, and you want slightly cooler water for green teas and white teas. It is possible to burn tea, believe it or not. So if you're using a full boil on a white tea, it might be kind of bitter because it can burn. And then if you steep your tea too long, certain teas can also take on a bitter taste. So black tea in particular, it recommends steeping for just 2 to 3 minutes. And white teas can steep for, I think, 3 to 5. I'll have to kind of toggle back and forth to look at that. But so you want to use the recommended steeping times, and then you want to use the recommended steeping temperatures. You also want to start with clean water. Water's kind of going to absorb flavors like a sponge. Hey, can you grab my, oh well, he's not listening. It will absorb flavors like a sponge. So when you have chlorine in your water, which is normal for tap water, it may affect the flavor of your teas. So I recommend filtered water. If you actually just put water in a pitcher, over 24 hours, the chlorines are going to evaporate. You don't want to use stagnant water that's been reboiled a few times, though, because it kind of takes the flavor out of it. So using fresh water, preferably filtered, to the right temperature, steep it for the right amount of time. And again, it's the first link that I posted, and it's a Facebook link, so it'll say facebook.com/ very long URL. That's the chart. I recommend if you just long click it on a mobile device, and you can save it to your phone just to have handy. It's awesome. And then the right infuser. So loose leaf tea is actually made differently from your traditional bag teas. They put the tea out on a screen and hand pick the good parts. So when you purchase tea that is like a store-bought bag tea, you're getting what's left behind after they've hand-picked out what they want for their loose leaf. So the loose leaf gets the bigger leaves, and they'll leave behind the stems, the vein from the leaf, and bark and other parts of the plant, which aren't going to hurt you, but they don't have as much flavor. So the loose leaf has the bigger leaves and the more flavorful parts of those leaves. So you get more flavor with loose leaf tea. So then you have to steep it. So sorry about that. Loose leaf tea is best stored in an opaque container. Ours have a little window so you know when you're running low. And the cool thing about our tins is that they all have this is a dry erase. So you can erase it and then relabel it if you get a different tea. We have 3 scoops. One's for matcha, one's a cup of tea, and one's a pot of tea. So you just take your scoop of tea and scoop it out, and then you would either put it into a cup infuser or one of our teapots. All of our teapots have a basket to steep your tea. So you would steep it for 5 minutes or however long you're supposed to, and then you would just remove the basket. And a teapot is for serving tea. So this is the one that will come in your starter kit. It's got feet so that it doesn't burn your table. And you do not put these on the stove. Tea kettles are for the stove. Oh, thank you. You boil water in a tea kettle. You heat it up in a tea kettle, either electric or on the stove. Teapots are for serving and steeping tea. They're not for heating the water up. So the song you learned as a little kid should have been I'm a Little Tea Kettle. You just shattered my childhood when I joined this company. So the basket's removable. So after your tea has steeped, you would remove the basket and serve. This one is extremely drip proof. You really can't make a mess with this, which is awesome because I'm really good at making messes. And then you would steep your tea. Now, if you're making it by the cup, there's different ways to do that. This is my favorite invention. It's called the What's the Scoop? And you would scoop your tea using this piece and push it together. And then you can steep it and you can stir it. And then just remove it. I stick it in a shot glass when I'm done so that it's out of my way. This one is the fine mesh infuser. And on the screen, it kind of looks solid, but it really, you can see through it. And that's because rooibos teas are very fine. So if you like rooibos tea, which I do, you don't want the little fine leaves to get through into your glass because then it's yucky when you drink it. They would make awesome stocking stuffers. So this one sits in you can use it in a coffee cup. You just remove this when you're done steeping your tea and it makes a little coaster. So you can sit it on the table next to you and not have to get up to put away your thing. And then this is my absolute favorite thing. This is called the bubble cup. I don't know if you can see. It's double-walled glass so that your hands are not going to burn. And then this one, you would put the tea in this part here. And then when you're done steeping it, you remove it and it'll sit in here. It's a coaster. The way it's curved, it will not allow the stuff to drip. Yes, it's a delicate glass. They are fragile. I don't recommend them as a travel cup. The pop top tumbler makes a much better travel cup. This one but it's just nice. I like the way it feels in my hands. It's actually one of my favorite cups to drink out of when I'm just making a cup for myself, not a whole pot. And this is called the bubble cup, and it's in the starter bundle. And it comes with 3 of our most popular teas. Yeah, it looks like a travel cup in the catalog, but I wouldn't use it in your car's cup holder because it is kind of a delicate thing. The pop top tumbler has a similar mechanism. It's just in my lunch bag because I brought them both to work with me, and I don't want to wander off right now. But it has a fine mesh infuser in the top part, and it will keep your tea hot forever. I live in New Hampshire where it's crazy cold, and I've forgotten it and then remembered it at lunchtime when it was 0 degrees out. My tea was still hot. So that thing is fabulous. It's also mostly indestructible. I've dropped it in the driveway several times and it's been fine. So I highly recommend the pop top tumbler if this is something you're going to be drinking while you're in your car or out and about. Once you've steeped your tea, then you're just going to, of course, enjoy it. And like I said, you can steep it in wine. So cold steeping is a process that minimizes the potential for bitter taste. People cold steep iced teas. They just take several hours to overnight. You obviously don't have to worry about over steeping. The pop top is spill proof, yes. It'll take me a second to go grab it, but it has a locking mechanism on the lid so that if you threw it in a tote bag or something, it's not going to pop open. When it's open, I think in theory you could spill it. It doesn't have like a thing, but they're awesome. I carry 2 of them to work every day. One with, I usually put my matcha in one, and I put like an herbal tea, usually immunity booster, in the other one. And I'll tell you what I do. They're metal. Have you guys ever heard of matcha? Have you ever seen matcha? Have you ever tried matcha? So I can post a video in the Facebook group. But matcha is a tea that is a finely ground powder, green tea. So instead of steeping it and discarding the leaves, you're actually whisking it together, and then you're consuming the entire product. So you get a lot more of the antioxidants, chlorophyll. It's actually got higher chlorophyll content than regular green tea because they shade the leaves in the last couple months of the growing phase so that they will accumulate chlorophyll because they can't do photosynthesis without sunlight. And the leaves actually get bigger and wider because they're looking for the sun. So it's got a slightly different composition than regular green tea. What I do is I make a cup of pumpkin matcha, which is unfortunately no longer available, and a cup of vanilla matcha. I mix them together in my pop-top tumbler, and I put a ball from a shaker cup in there, just so that, because it will eventually settle if you don't drink it fast enough. If I'm drinking matcha out of a cup like this, it's not ever going to settle because matcha tea is made with water that's not at a full boil, and I can drink it pretty quickly. But the pop top retains the heat so long that you can literally sip all day and it won't get cold. So I keep the little shaker ball in there just to shake it up periodically. Regular tea, on the other hand, because it's steeped and there's no leaves in it, you would just remove the little fine mesh infuser from the top of it and then sip all day. So those are fabulous. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our teas. This is our collection. This is one of the specials for today. If you spend $65, you can get this for $12. If you, otherwise I think it's $35 and you can get it. Then there's 2 other specials that are actually exclusive this month. So these are 25-gram bags of tea. So we sell 50 and 100-gram bags. The 25s are in the collections, which are samplers. The chart that I posted is actually on the back, so you'll get your steeping times. The temperatures aren't on there, but one thing I do like to point out is you can reuse tea leaves. If you've never done it before, you can make a rooibos tea twice. You can make a green tea 3 times. So you're going to get like a real bargain because all of our teas, except black, herbals, and fruits, can be reused. So for example, in that bubble cup or in this fine mesh infuser, you just put it back in the cup with more water and make it again. And it's actually, the ones that it says you can re-steep are just as good the second time. And this one comes with eggnog and sugar plum and cinnamon, Christmas chai, white chocolate souffle, harvest spice, which is absolutely delicious, and you can steep that one in an apple cider, and it's fantastic. And you get a holiday treat. And then you get steeping sacks. Steeping sacks are they are a small biodegradable bag that you would put a scoop of tea in, and you're basically making your own tea bag. So these make great gifts because they have basically they don't need a infuser with this because it comes with the steeping sacks. So that's a great way to get into our teas, is to start with a collection. Like I said, this one's on sale if you spend $65 and get it for $12. We have other collections as well. There's a little black tea collection and a few others in there. There's a tea talks collection. And those are just kind of a fun way to get into tea because you get a variety. Anybody have questions? No questions. The tins are on sale this month too. You get 6 for $34, and these will stack. They have an inner seal to keep it fresh as well. I'm gonna grab my pop top tumbler. I forgot it. It'll be 2 seconds. My cats are eyeing my tea here. Do they offer labels for the tins? So the tins are they don't come with a label. They're actually a dry erase surface. So you can label them yourself. and then you can continuously erase them and relabel them, which is pretty cool. Yep, you can write right on them with a dry erase marker. So this is the Pop Top. This is steeped teal. This company is very big on their tea puns. So we have Purple Rain, steeped teal, smoke and lime, and Earl Grey. And this is the mechanism, so it's spring loaded up. And then this is the hole. It's relatively spill proof. Obviously, I could manage to make a mess with it, but and then you can push it down, and then it won't open. So if you do put this into your book bag or something like that, it's not going to pop open and spill. And then so this is the lid. The piece just pops right in there, and then you would steep your tea. Oh yeah, this is it's a good size. I can fit 2 cups of matcha in this, but it makes about a cup of normal tea, and I absolutely love this because it keeps my tea hot for like ever, and I can drink it all day. In fact, I think there's still some in there, and I can finish it now. But I take 2 of these to work every day, and the second one is just as hot when I open it as it needs to be. So I do love these. So for traveling, those are your best bet. For sitting around the house, if you're drinking tea with someone, these are great. They come in a 4-pack. So these are $40, but I'm glad you asked because these are my most popular half-price item that my hostesses will choose. So when you're a host, based on the sales of your party, you earn free product. And with a $250 party, you will earn 1 half-price item plus your choice of one of the 2 hostess specials, and you get 15% of your sales in free credit. So on a party that's $250, that would be $37.50. Most of my hosts will choose one of these as a half-price item. Actually, I think all of my hosts choose these as half-price items. It's definitely the most popular thing that people get half off. I love them. My upline actually has 16 of these. She's got a little problem. Every time there's a new color, she has to have it. She just loves them, and she takes like 4 of them to work every day. So, so those are crazy popular. The other thing that people like to get free is the teapots. And this one, like I said, I love it because it's definitely spill proof. And when I take this to parties, I don't have to worry about it because it's stainless steel, indestructible. This is the one, this was the sign-on bonus when I joined the company. And this one is glass. I do like it because it has a fine mesh infuser, and we drink the amaretto rooibos tea every night in my house. So I can make a pot of it, and we love that tea. I heard it's best to store tea in the bag because it seals tight. So our teas, the bags do seal. They have a thick Ziploc, and they need to be protected from light and weather. You know, don't store them like right near your stove because the moisture from the boiling water. In Montreal, fragile. Yeah, it is fragile. That's why I don't take it to. I don't take that to parties with me because I'm not tempting fate. So the tins, they have an extra seal on the top so that this will keep your tea fresh. The major reason why I use the tins instead of leaving them in the bags is I like variety. I have a lot of tea, and these in my pantry are easier to see what's inside and find it. The bags get a little unwieldy. But if you have one favorite, and that's the tea that you drink all the time, then by all means stock up on it. But when you get to having a variety of teas in your house, the tins do make it easier to see what's inside. So I love to party. So I'm offering parties on Facebook, on Blab, and if you're within 2 hours of Southern New Hampshire, I'd love to come to your house and have tea with your friends. I can mail samples for online parties. I mail out samples to your guests about a week ahead so that they can sit and enjoy their tea. And if anybody wants to join me on camera, please feel free. um, and I'm also hiring. So I absolutely love this business. I've been with the company since the end of June. I've got 14 people in my downline now, and I have another person starting tomorrow. And people just come out of the woodwork. So I do. And I wasn't rocking in my other business. I was very depressed. And I loved my other company. I was not looking to switch. They put me next to a steep tea rep at a vendor event. And I didn't really like tea, but I had some friends that wanted to check this product out. And so I told her I'd take a catalog and show my friends. And she gave me a sample of the Harvest Spice tea, which she had steeped in an apple cider, and it was so good. I'm like, I'm willing to consider liking tea. And then I tried another one of her teas. I can't remember which one it was, but it was really good. And I didn't like tea until I tried this tea because it has a lot more flavor. There's 106 varieties. So we have black teas, green teas, white teas, rooibos teas, herbal teas, fruit teas, pure air teas, and there's one more, oolong teas. I just fell in love with this tea. So I did a catalog show for her, and I just got addicted. Then I decided to give the business a try, and it's nice because people can find me online, and they're like, hey, you're the only consultant here. And it's wonderful because it's not a saturated market. When I do a party, nobody has a sister that sells this. Nobody has, their neighbor sells it, their cousin sells it. I never hear that at all. When I go to vendor events, I say, hey, do you have a steep tea rep? No. And I'm like, of course you don't. If they do, it's my upline, Tiffany. Usually then, and it's actually been, there's so few that I'm available for that she's already signed up for, that it's just hasn't happened. So as far as businesses go, I've loved it, partially because I am the only one out here. And if the market ever is saturated, then they'll all be in my downline. So that'll be fabulous. But I love the tea. And my first love is I'm a life coach. So I'm certified in stress management, design psychology, eating psychology. And I was kind of wanting to feel a little bit more meshed with my primary business that I'm in. And this tea really was a wonderful thing for me because I used to drink too much artificially sweetened drinks. I hate water by itself. And this has flavor, so I don't need the sweetness. So I was able to get off of all artificially sweetened drinks completely, which is one of the reasons I love it so much. They don't use GMOs. They label to their European Union standards. The tea doesn't have anything artificial in it. There are marshmallows in the hot chocolate, but we don't talk about that. So I was really excited to be involved with a company that has a pure product that's healthy. It's kind of fun. I like doing tea parties. I feel like a kid again. I used to have tea parties when I was 4, and now I get to do that again. So it's lots of fun. So does anybody have questions about tea, about the business, about the host opportunity? You had a similar one. Oh yeah, the teapot. So I am going to share. Yes, the catalog is online. This is a link to the Facebook party, which has the special offers. And I'm going to post the link to shop in just a second, as soon as I can get to it. I just have to get to that link. Waiting for the page to load. So this is the direct link to the party. If you click that, it should take you to wherever you're, I think it will just take you to a blank page for shopping, and then you can type anything into the search box, and it will, thank you. Yes, I will. I did record it so that I will post that to our group for training so that we can watch it again. So if you click on there, the shop by category, all the teas are under tea. The artisan soaps, there's 3 soaps. They smell divine. You can check those out. Under accessorized teaware, that's where you're going to find the scoops and the infusers and the different cups and teapots. The bundles are, we have a ton of great gift ideas. So there's like the afternoon tea gift set, which has tea and a clip-on infuser and a cup. And those are all put together for you under bundles. And then right under that, it says customer specials. And that's where you'll find the exclusive offers going on for this month. If you have any questions, I'm on, let me give you my Facebook page. You can go into the Facebook event and post a question. I'll be around for a little while after this is over to answer questions, and my phone number is on the website. So if you click on that link and you do have questions, if you text my cell phone, it doesn't matter how late it is, it won't disturb anybody. If I'm asleep, and I'll get back to you as soon as I wake up. So don't be afraid to text anytime. It depends. I'm going to post. That's my Facebook page if you want to like me and keep in touch. I usually try to close parties in a reasonable time frame. If nobody has ordered, it's a little less critical. Once I get an order, though, I like to close it within a couple of days just so that people aren't waiting forever for their stuff. So if you want to hold it open, what's today, Friday? We could definitely go through the weekend and then see how it looks on Sunday or Monday and make a decision then. I just don't like to go past Black Friday because a lot of people shop online on Black Friday, and if anything sells out, I'd like to not have that be a problem for anybody's party. So I try to wrap them all up this time of year. I don't like to go past Thanksgiving just because it can be a disaster. Yeah, a lot of times things will sell out. Just all companies have the same issue, of course, but you just get a ridiculous amount of online orders not associated with parties, and then things can end up selling out. So no problem. Thank you for hosting. So I am going to stop